tap your past. What got you here will get you there. Why did I become an executive coach? I saw lots of great people fail to get ahead at work, while their much less talented peers blew right past them. That made me furious, but also curious. What were great people getting wrong? It came down to helping them re-examine what drove success and then helping them make critical shifts, one hard truth at a time.
Feel like you're doing everything you were told, but you're not moving ahead at work nor having the impact you seek? Then welcome to 97% Effective with Michael Wenderoth, where we skip feel-good, happy talk and engage experts in pointed conversations about what it really takes to move the needle at work and your career. So if you feel stalled or frustrated, or seek that extra edge as you move to the next level, then look no further. This is the Hard Truths Playbook you never got.
Hi, I'm Michael Wenderoth, and you're listening to 97% Effective. What got you here won't get you there. Bad advice. You heard me correctly. Think twice before applying this popular saying, one I'm sure you've heard, repeated, and deeply believe. What got you here won't get you there is a useful insight, but has become so overused and misapplied that it's become a cliche. Many rising executives blindly suppress or disregard their strengths, habits, past sources of success, when in fact, they should do the opposite when they hit a crossroads. View their past as gold that should be mined to power them forward. In today's brief episode of 97% Effective, I'm going to challenge the conventional wisdom and discuss how what got you here will get you there. If you take away only one key idea from this episode, remember this phrase: tap your past. To understand why you should tap your past and how what got you here will in fact get you there, I'm going to cover three things. First, we'll review how we get stuck at work, those how do I get there moments. Second, we'll look at 4 client examples, how they tapped their past to get unstuck and move ahead. And third, we'll end with how you can utilize this same process, tap your past, to get you where you want and need to go. By the end of this episode, you'll leave with a simple, creative, and what seems like a counterintuitive way to tap into your past. What got you here will get you there. First, why does this matter? Getting stuck in your career, especially as we rise at work, happens to many of us. It's like when we go from individual contributor to manager or leader, or when we go from doing the work ourselves to doing the work through others, or when we go from having deep domain knowledge to rising and having knowledge that is wide and feels very thin. Because our situation changes, our approach and skills often need to change as well. We need awareness and tools to realize when we enter those moments, and then what to do to get through them. That might mean shedding old behaviors or strategies that don't serve us. It might mean learning new behaviors or strategies, or it might mean redeploying old strategies or behaviors harnessed in creative and powerful new ways. Tapping your past is about seeing yourself as resourceful. And this goes to the idea of what me and other executive coaches call whole person coaching. Whole person coaching is about recognizing that people have deep capacities and resources within themselves that simply need to be examined and unlocked. People are resilient, driven, and creative. Not tapping into that is a huge mistake. So let's look at 4 quick client examples These are past clients whose names I've changed, who have tapped their past, helping and showing them what got them here did get them there. We'll look at their situation, how tapping their past led to insight, and how they applied that to get ahead. Client example number 1, Dan. Situation: Dan was a director at a bank, frustrated that he was not getting invited into key meetings in the inner circle. He was a relative newcomer. He had come from another company to a very closed culture, and he didn't have those visibility or key relationships. Tapping his past. When Dan examined his past, he made a startling insight that every strong connection that had advanced him toward his goals was linked to being bold and proactive. In fact, he landed the very job that he was now at the bank, by reaching out directly to the hiring manager and saying, "I'm in your city next week. Can I drop by so we can meet face to face?" When that manager said yes, Dan actually changed his schedule. He had no plans to go there, and booked a plane ticket to visit the manager that next week. Somehow, though, in this new, more conservative bank, after he had moved over, he had suppressed his boldness so that he could, quote unquote, fit in and wait to be called upon, which wasn't happening. What he did, after analyzing all the upside and little downside to a bolder, more proactive approach, Dan actually channeled his past strategy to directly reach out and meet with several senior executives. They weren't even aware of him, but they willingly said yes. The takeaway here: don't immediately kill off what has served you. Dan tapped his past skill of making bold moves to advance.
You've been listening to 97% Effective with your host, Executive Coach Michael Wenderoth. If this interview is making you think, make sure to share it with a friend. Now, back to our interview.
Client example number 2, Jasmine. Jasmine's situation. Jasmine had been promoted into a new finance leadership role, where she was expected to become a strong business partner to the executive team. She had a great track record in a previous unit, but executives in the new division needed to see strategic insight she could bring to their business. Now, it didn't help that she was shy and introverted. In fact, many of the executive team weren't even aware she had assumed the leadership role several months before. Tapping her past. Jasmine looked deep into her past, especially when she went through some big life transitions. And she examined a period when she moved to a new country and had to land on her feet quickly. By analyzing what made her successful then, she found that the key in her transition and other transitions she had made was using local guides or mentors. What she did. Jasmine didn't need to be an extrovert and bombastically market herself across the executive team, but she did need to better employ guides and mentors, something she wasn't doing due to her more introverted nature. What did she do? She approached one VP for advice, another VP who quickly made introductions, and even harnessed a past boss in the company who socialized some of her success. The takeaway: find similar situations in the past and analyze what helped you accelerate through them. Jasmine tapped into her past, harnessing insights gained from relocating to a new country. She didn't need to become an extrovert, but harnessing trusted guides would work and serve her well again. Client example number 3, Rhonda. Situation: Rhonda was a rising young star at her global tech firm. However, as she interviewed for senior roles, top management consistently pointed out her youth, favoring other internal candidates. less competent ones to boot, that had more years of experience. She was told, "You need more time and seat. Wait your turn." Tapping her past. We examined and looked at Rhonda's amazing experience as a top sales or key account manager. We then explored what she would do if a potential key account was squeamish about adopting a product that had less of a commercial track record versus competitor products. We even explored how she would coach one of the sales reps on her team who faced that challenge with an account. What she did. Rhonda immediately suggested 3 powerful strategies to overcome the challenge. First, she could explain why the newer product was the right fit for the current situation. Second, she could have others influence the decision makers in that company. And third, when she was coaching the rep, she also got them to think about reality, that the product may not win in that company, and it was better to spend their time and pursue opportunities elsewhere. This exercise, looking at Rhonda's experience as a key account manager, got her thinking more creatively about her interview process. She turned her youth, what seemed like a liability, into a strength, and framed how her experience on cutting-edge technology was an asset and exactly what the new role required. While that didn't lead immediately to landing the role, it got senior management seeing her differently, which months later paid huge dividends as they created a powerful new role for her. The takeaway? Look at how you solve other similar challenges in your work and apply that to your career. Rhonda tapped into what lands key accounts, treating herself as the product. And that brings us to client example number 4, the last, Keshav. Situation, Keshav, actually his real name, a former client who was with me on 97% Effective in a previous episode, hated office politics. He avoided engaging others, felt it was a waste of time, but this often meant he was passed over for promotions or missed out on resources or support for him and his team. Tapping his past. Like Rhonda, and as we shared on a past episode, Keshav looked at one of his superpowers. He designed and produced games. And that got him to think about, how do you keep the user or other people engaged? And he used that as a way to totally reframe his relationship with office politics. Keshav thought about people on his critical path at work. How do I keep them engaged? How do I advance? That made office politics a bit more palatable and resulted in working with others, which got him resources, helped his team, and got him a promotion. The takeaway? Get a new perspective looking at your work and your strengths. Keshav tapped his past skill engaging users. What got him here and very successful at producing games did get him there in his career and at work. How can you draw from these examples? When faced with challenges, particularly transitions, particularly at moments when it feels you're stuck, you're not making traction, these individuals did not ignore their past, they tapped into it, revealing insights and strengths. When you do this yourself, examine past habits, life situations, your own expertise. Past habits, think about Dan at the bank, how his boldness helped him land opportunities. Past life situations, think about Jasmine, the introvert, how she reapplied the strategy gained when moving countries to get trusted guides to Accelerator. And think about past insights from your work expertise. Rhonda in the technology firm, how she applied key account thinking to countering you're too young for the job. And Keshav, who applied game design expertise to rethinking about how to engage in office politics. Tap the past comes down to 3 steps. Ask yourself, 1, where in the past have I faced a challenge like this? What got me through it? 2, what is different about then versus now? What's the same? And 3, how might I harness that or use it to spur additional thinking? So it's not always a matter of letting go of what got you here. In fact, those skills or habits often will get you there. So tap the past. What got you here will get you there. See you next week on 97% Effective.
Thanks for listening to 97% Effective, where we skip happy talk and help you break through and ascend one hard truth at a time. Help others discover this show. Leave a review and rating wherever you listen to your podcasts. And if you like what you heard, you can get free resources, including the first chapters of Michael's book, Get Promoted, on his website, www.changwenderoth.com. That's www.changwenderoth.com.